Order in the court. The gavel hit, echoing through the small courtroom like a thunderclap. Martha Hayes stood still, hands trembling, heart pounding as Judge Peterson delivered the verdict that would shatter her world. Mrs. Hayes, the court finds in favor of Mr. Douglas. The words hit her harder than any storm. She had spent 2 years fighting for her husband's wrongful death case, 2 years of gathering evidence, surviving nights without sleep, watching her savings disappear. And now, it was over. The courtroom murmured as the wealthy businessman smirked, adjusting his tie. Martha wanted to scream, not out of anger, but out of disbelief. How could truth lose today? Outside, cameras flashed. Reporters asked questions she couldn't answer. "Mrs. Hayes, do you think the system failed you?" Her voice broke. "It didn't just fail me, it failed my husband." She turned away, tears mixing with the drizzle that had begun to fall. Somewhere in that gray morning, she made a silent vow. This wasn't the end. That night, alone in her small apartment, Martha replayed every word from the trial, every lie told under oath. Every time her lawyer said, "It's okay, Martha, we'll win this." But they didn't, because truth, in that room, wasn't loud enough. Then, something happened. A small brown envelope slipped under her door, no return address, no name, just one sentence written on the back. "You were right. He bribed the witnesses." Inside, photos, bank transfers, hidden recordings, proof. Her heart raced. Whoever sent this wanted justice too. Martha knew she couldn't go back to court with the same lawyer. She had to represent herself, but she wasn't a lawyer, just a high school teacher who believed in right and wrong. Still, she spent every night reading case law, court transcripts, learning legal terms from free online videos. She practiced in front of her mirror, arguing against invisible opponents. Her students began to notice the change. "Miss Hayes, why do you look so serious lately?" one asked. She smiled faintly. "Because sometimes, kiddo, the world needs someone to stand up even when it's scary." Weeks later, she filed a motion to reopen the case, and to everyone's surprise, the judge approved it. The day of the retrial, the courtroom was packed. Reporters, curious citizens, even the man she was suing, Douglas, sat confidently in his $1,000 suit, smirking again. But this time, Martha wasn't trembling. She walked to the podium with her folder full of truth and fire in her eyes. When the judge asked if she had legal representation, she looked him dead in the eye. "No, Your Honor," she said firmly. "I have something stronger. The truth." The courtroom went silent. Even the air felt still. For the next 3 hours, Martha presented her case. She played the recordings, voices of witnesses admitting they'd been paid to lie. She showed the transfer receipts. The crowd gasped. Reporters scribbled furiously. The defense lawyer objected again and again. Irrelevant, inadmissible, hearsay. But the judge overruled every time. Finally, Martha turned toward Douglas. "You took away my husband's dignity, but today I take away your lies." Douglas clenched his jaw, realizing his empire of deceit was crumbling in front of everyone. When she finished, the judge leaned forward. His voice softened. "Mrs. Hayes, you may not have a law degree, but you have done something most lawyers never could. You found justice." The courtroom erupted. Reporters flooded forward. The verdict reversed. Martha Hayes had won. Outside the courthouse, sunlight broke through the clouds, the first clear day in weeks. A journalist asked, "Martha, what will you do now that you've won?" She smiled through tears. "I didn't win for myself. I won for every woman who's been told she's too small to fight the system." The clip went viral across the US. Millions watched her story, the woman who fought alone and won. Within weeks, law schools invited her to speak about courage and truth. Hollywood producers called her story a modern miracle of justice. But Martha never chased fame. She went back to teaching because that's where her strength began. And sometimes, when students asked what courage really meant, she'd write one sentence on the board. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's standing tall while your world falls apart.